Okay, we're recording again. Hi, everybody. Happy pre-Thanksgiving. Sorry we're a little late. The previous call went a little longer than we had hoped. But for those of you who are on our all-out massive action call, the night before Thanksgiving, I applaud you. You are obviously very, very, very serious about not only ending 2015 strong, but also about having an incredible next year, probably the best year ever with everything that's in place. And just as a little reminder before I forget, don't forget Friday is Orange Friday, and make sure to forward the email about all the free stuff that's available only Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So make sure you let everybody know that. So just to just do a little bit of a preview about what our purpose is. What our purpose is to accelerate your
I had to talk
success.
So fast. I did mine in about 20 minutes. Marilyn's way over. So the poor third man never got his in.
Okay.
So he has
That's Vivian speaking. Marilyn, if you could call Vivian and let her know she never hung up from our previous call because she's talking and she never logged out of the call. So she's still on the speaker line. So our purpose of the All-Out Massive Action Call is obviously to empower you with the skills that you need to become the CEO of your own life. That means that you are in control of both your time and your finances. And right now, we're also doing a 30-day program to rewire your brain. And every morning you should be getting a short motivational inspiration video that you can watch during the day. And when we're done the 30 days, guess what? We're going to do another 30 days. But our first guest speaker, and we're going to be discussing Eric Worre's How to Recruit 20 People in 30 Days, is my dear friend, my good friend and business partner, Eileen Cohen. So I'm not going to read her whole bio. I'll just give you a little bit of an idea who this lady is. She is actually responsible for getting me back into network marketing when I was 52 years old and actually over $450,000 in debt when we moved to Arizona. She was very, very successful in real estate, just amazingly so, but had no time freedom. And that's what she was looking for. She was looking to replace a very serious real estate income with a royalty income so that she could travel the world with her sweetheart who just passed away. And just to give you a little bit of, you talk about challenges in life and overcoming challenges. Herb's been sick for 12 years. And 12 years ago, they estimated maybe he had 2 years to live. Well, that was a decade ago. And boy, did she pump him with all of the Zango products. And we just lost Herb. And now Eileen's back at work doing what she loves in empowering people both with shortcuts to better health as well as shortcuts to better finances. And speaking of finances, Eileen is like a walking calculator. She is amazing. And she's going to be talking tonight, and she's actually calling you from Knott's Berry Farm. She's there with the whole family, with all the kids and the grandkids running around. She's locked herself in the car to be able to do this for us because I really don't think anybody out there is as good as she is to get this done. So I'm going to mute myself out, and I'm going to turn it over to you, Eileen. And thank you again for making this possible.
Oh, thank you so much, Sandy. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate your friendship and business partnership and understanding because this last 2 years, actually, since we moved from Arizona to California, have been really tough. Hospitals, doctors, moving into I don't want to go into all the stuff, but it's been very, very, very all that, you know, if I didn't have my income, and I had worked hard in the beginning when I first started, and Sandy brought me into this business, and I was able to replace my nice six-figure-a-year income with the Zango income, and not being able to work for a while now, here and there, a little bit here and there, but having that residual income when you can't do things, when you don't, no job, no anything. I mean, first of all, I'm too old for anybody to hire. But besides that, it's a residual income that you can count on month after month and year after year. And it's proven itself over and over again. And so I'm so grateful to Zango. I'm so grateful to you, Sandy, to bringing me back into network marketing. I brought you back in. You brought me back in. And so that's how it works. And so, I want to tell this is really important because it's so different from a job. Imagine if you had to take, months off. What if you had to take 6 months off of your job? Would you still have a job? Would they pay you while you're not working? I mean, think about that. This is huge. This is huge. So what I really want to talk about tonight is the fact that you can make a huge difference in people's lives, and you can make a huge difference in your own life. So the idea here is that success loves speed, and so you need to get a burst of energy, really important. And you can do this program in 30 days. You can stretch it out to 60, 90, whatever you want to, whatever's comfortable for you. But I can tell you, the longer you stretch it out, the less people that you bring on board quickly, the less likely you're going to have those distributors become leaders, because they're going to follow what you do. And so if you want to really get your business into momentum, you need to get yourself into momentum. So important. So let's talk about what happens if you have 30 people, and Sandy will go over how you get those 30 people, but I want to show you the numbers because they are really great. Where are you going to be at? Okay, if you bring 20 people in your first 30 days, you're going to, if you bring them in on the minimum, which is $100 in personal volume, the volume would be $2,000. 20 times 100 is $2,000. Your income would be 25%, being they're coming in as distributors. So you're going to earn $500 your very first month. Now, through January, Zango has holiday hundreds. So Zango is giving an additional bonus of $100 for every 3 new distributors that you sponsor with a minimum of $100. Now, if you sponsor them with $200, here's the difference. Your volume is going to be $4,000. Your income would be $1,000. Okay, so think about that. Number one. Number two, you're not going to lose any money, and they're not going to lose any money. Because remember how the compensation plan works. If you're bringing people in on 200, they're going to maximize their commission. You get 25% on the distributors, personally sponsored distributors that you bring into the business. You also earn 15% of their new distributors that they're bringing into the business if you're on 200. So you want to teach people to come in on 200 unless your distributors want to let you have their 15%. My feeling is let your distributors earn that 15%. Okay? You earn the 15% on all the people that they bring in. I think that's a real win-win situation. Now, if you bring in through January 31st with the holiday hundreds, you're going to earn an additional $500. That's the maximum that you can earn. But every 3 new distributors that you bring in, you earn $100 with a maximum of up to $500, and that's until January 31st. So that's really great. So you're going to if you bring everybody in on $200, you now have earned $1,500 in your very first month of business. Well, I'm saying if you do it in the month of December, by the month of January, okay, you would be earning that $1,500. Now, statistics show that 12 out of 20 will do something. 8 of your distributors, you're getting paid on them, but 8 will disappear. They go into the witness protection program, or they just leave. And 8 in 90 days will look like they're leaders. 8 will look like they're leaders. But in a period of 12 months, you'll have 4 who are really leaders, 4 that are going to be generating 90% of your income. Now, the other 4 of the 8 may still be buying product, and they may sign up a person here and a distributor there, but they're not going to be your leaders. So we're talking about getting your leaders growing. So if you have 4 generating 90% of your income, okay? And one of the 4 that you have typically will generate half of your income. Is that amazing? That you're going to have somebody who really gets it, who really takes off, okay? So when you have $10,000 in volume, now you're going to have an additional $400 a month because of Zango's Drive Your Own Dream program, okay? So you'll have that, but you really need to have the separate legs, which is really important. So you have 4 after 1 year. So let's say if you've got 4 leaders, you have 2 of them will be at the 20K level. Let's say 2 of them are at the 5K level. Okay, 20K meaning 20,000 in volume each, and then 2 at 5K would be $5,000 of each. Typically, we consider leaders between the 5 and 20K levels, mostly the 20K. So they're on their way. So in 1 year, you are going to be premier. That's how the mantra gets started. 1 year, premier in 1 year. And as premier, you're going to be earning anywhere from $4,000 to $8,000 a month. A month. Okay, let me repeat that. As premier, you're going to be earning somewhere between $4,000 and $8,000 a month in your first year, in 12 months. Okay? Now, of those four, you're going to have 2 that are real superstars, should be real leaders. You can repeat this program. You'll be at the 100K, and remember, to get to premier, it's 2 20Ks and a 5K. To get to 100K, it's 3 20Ks and a 5K. So you help that other 5K become 20K, work with them, and have $100,000 in volume. Now you're 100K. Now you help all of your team, those leaders, become premiers. You have 3 premiers and a 20K. Now you're 200K. What does a 200K earn? Over $40,000 a month. A month. How much is this business worth to you even at the premier level? Over a lifetime? Multi-millions. Could be multi-millions. Okay? The rank advancements are fantastic. Global bonus pools start at the premier level. I won't go into all of those details right now, but there is so much money to be made in Zango. So much money to be made in Zango. You need to lead by example. That's why I believe that this is a phenomenal way to go, 20 in 30 days. And what Eric Worre is saying is that the 6-figure-a-year income earners have done that. They've done that. They've sponsored 20 people within their first 30 days or possibly 60 days, but they've done it quickly. They didn't do 1 a month because 1 a month is not the pace that leaders do. You really need to get it going as quickly as possible. And so it is important. I mean, when I started, I just put the pedal to the metal and just said, I'm going after it and I'm going to make it happen. And I'm so glad that I did that. And if you have that burning desire, and you have to figure out what is your why, but if you have that burning desire that you want to change your life and you want to own your financial life, you want to own what you do. Like right now, I'm sitting in the car. My whole family is here at Knott's Farm. And, one thing I've learned is that, family is important, but you also have to take care of the financial, and having that residual income when you can't work and things are happening around you in your life, and never having to worry about those finances and worrying about how your bills are going to get paid because you're losing your job because you can't work or because of this or that. It's so important. It is so important. I am so grateful to Zango. I am just so grateful to Zango and to Sandy because you brought that to me. So, what could your life be like if you had that additional income? And you choose the income that you really want to earn. You choose the income. But in 12 months, if you do this program, in 12 months, you could be premier. And to me, that's once you get to premier and you've got your leaders in place, you continue working with your leaders, but always look for more. Always continue on the search to find the distributors, new distributors, because you don't know. None of us have a crystal ball. No one knows which of those distributors are going to become your leaders. And sometimes the people you think that have the potential to really build a business big surprise you, and they don't. And the people who you think don't have the potential, but they're have a burning desire, and so they do all the training and they go to all the events, and guess what? They become real leaders. So don't prejudge your people. It's really, really important. No one has a crystal ball, and it's really important to give everybody the same energy as long as they're plugged into the system, and as long as they're really serious about making a change and never quit. But the whole thing, what I want to talk briefly just is the difference between intention. We all have intentions to make a lot of money. We all have intentions to go out and talk to 3 to 5 new people a day or 10 people a day, whatever our intention is. But it's the attention. It's the attention that you need to focus in on, because the intention doesn't mean anything until you put the attention to that intention. Does that make sense? I hope everybody understands that. It's the attention, because whatever attention you give, whatever you put your attention to, is what's going to manifest. It's the attention. So make your intention an attention. Do the attention. Focus in on what you want, because that's so important. So I hope you wrote down these numbers. The numbers are fantastic. They really work. Everybody can go to Premier and well beyond that. And I am setting my goal. I'm going to do my 30 days is going to start in January. And I'm enjoying my family and trying to get it's been a little difficult for me, but starting in January, I'm going to have 2016. I'm going to really make a big year out of it, a big beginning, start the beginning of the year again.
Thank you for taking time, and I know this has been a very difficult mourning period for you and a healing time. So give my love and kisses to all the kids and the grandkids, and thank you for jumping on the call. I really
Thank you so much. You bet. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
So, what I want everyone to understand is that the purpose of these calls is for feedback. What are your aha moments after taking some of the training? That's really what this is about. So next, I think Chris was on the agenda to share some of his thoughts, and he did text me, and he's got a lot going on with all his kids and a new baby who was in the hospital and lots of challenges. But I know you're on the call, Chris. If you can *6 and unmute yourself. If you haven't had a chance to do this week's assignment, because this is some pretty heavy stuff, would you like to share with everyone your commitment to joining Ray Herron's $500 Club and explain what that is? Would you do that for us?
Sure.
Great. We can hear you loud and clear.
Ray Herron's 500 Club. Was that something that you sent something out about? But,
no, I just thought you said in your
in
I was
box.
mentioning how the Recruit 20 People in 30 Days just lines right up with Ray Heron and Richard O'Brien's recommendation to run this for 90 days as if your life depended on it. I mean,
so tell me what that looks like. Give everybody a little explanation, because some of the people may not know what Ray and Richard's suggestions and intentions are.
Well, I guess it's just exactly what that says. Run this thing for 90 days as if your life was hanging in the balance. That being your financial life, I suppose.
Absolutely, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And just to take some time and just ponder, what does that look like, and are you willing to do that? Because I totally believe with the boot camp that we've been watching that you've sent out, it is absolutely 100% true. And to do that, the 20 people in 30 days is just that's the kickstart of that whole process. Just to clear your mind of whatever's holding you back from doing that, and just say, I can and I will and I am going to do that. So I'm on that edge of the cliff right now, and I'm just so excited to break it out. And I'm actually planning on starting Friday, even though this is a time period where most people don't think of building. To me, it's a chance where people are in a spirit of goodwill, and they're in the spirit of spending, and they're in the spirit of, their finances are in their face, and they're around the people that they care about. So this is actually an excellent time to build this thing wildly. So planning on starting mine on Friday, actually.
Wonderful, wonderful. It's interesting what you said, Chris, because, there's even myself, people look at, the O'Briens, the Cohens, the Butlers, and they say, oh, my God, how am I going to get there? And the truth is, we all started as a no-K. And as I'm taking all this training, again, not the first time, but a second time, some of this stuff a third time, I'm bringing up words that have been buried for years, like, the end of the year is coming. Are you where you really thought you would be? I called somebody out of the blue this morning and this is really fascinating, that I have not spoken to since the old days of the Distributor Rights Association. We're going back maybe 6 or 7 years ago. And I was going through my address book, and his name popped up. And I went, wow, I wonder what he's up to. And it turns out he just left the company that crashed about 3 months ago. He's not doing anything. He's so disgusted because he thinks he has not found. And I used the words we've been using on our training. And I said something like, David, you may or may not be open to what I'm doing, but I'm creating an inner circle of people who really want their lives to be different, because January 1 is coming. And he said, oh, yeah, I know. January 1, everybody wants to change their life. Everybody wants to make more money. And he said, Sandy, I'm okay. But you know what? Tell me what you've got, because I am really ready to find something I can jump into for January 1. So revisiting all this training is working not just for the brand new people, Chris, but people like you who are emerging leaders, and even some of us that have been around for a really, really long time. And we're all busy. Everybody has a life. They've got work. They've got kids. They've got church. They've got everything could get in the way, but we're only looking for what? A 30-day commitment to get all the distractions out of the way and solicit the family's help. Say, Mommy, Daddy, I've got to, Mommy or Daddy, whatever you are, if you help me do this, and don't let me watch TV, and don't let me watch golf, and don't let me watch the football game, and don't let me do anything but lock myself in my room with my headset on smiling and dialing for 30 days. We're all going to be able to take a trip to Disneyland, or we're going to be able to do whatever it is you're going to promise the family. And Chris, I've lost count of how many kids you have. So you got lots of promises that you want to make to your family. Is that correct? But I'm so glad that you are taking that big leap off the cliff and say, I'm going to do this starting Friday. You're going to hopefully have your accountability buddy to show them your calendar, your blocks of time that are your Zango time. And I can tell you this from experience. If you don't block out a minimum of 2 hours at a time, that is not to your best use of time, because it takes you 15, 20 minutes just to get warmed up. So try to block out 2 hours at a time, total focus. If the phone rings, let it go to voicemail. I don't even think anybody has answering machines anymore. Just let it go to voicemail. Shut down your email. Shut down your texting. You are laser focused. Eddie calls it the F word. Laser focused on the job at hand, which is to make a certain number of calls within an hour. And if you know the people, you know their work schedule. You know, we've done a call on texting, the magic of texting. Just, text 15 people with the words, I'm excited about a new project. Would it be okay for us to schedule a call in the next couple days? I'm excited about a new project I'm working on. Would it be okay to schedule a call within the next couple days? You text that. If you send that in an email, you better be a gambling person to think they're going to even see it, yet alone read it. But if you text it, the statistics say within 90 seconds they see that message and they will respond. They won't ignore you. Try it. Try it. Maybe not tomorrow. It's Thanksgiving, but Friday. Everybody commit. Will everybody commit to sending out at least 10 text messages and just say something like, I'm so excited. I've started a new project. Would it be okay for us to schedule a call in the next day or so? In the chat room, are you ready to commit to doing 10 text messages to people on your top list? So for some of you that are new to the group and maybe you haven't had a chance to do this week's assignment, and if I'm giving you too much, take a deep breath. Okay, you're in graduate school now. Your life is hanging in the balance. What has Richard and Ray said? You've got to work the next 90 days like your life depends upon it. So you have to get rid of all the distractions. So, Joe, are you with us? Do you want to share any thoughts on your recent aha moments with what you've been listening to this past week?
Yes, and I want to thank you, Sandy, for introducing us to Eric Worre. I had never heard of him, and wow, what a teacher. He does not hold back. He just tells it like it is, and man, I was like, ow, and ow. I mean, really. I mean, he really just, right? Yeah, but he said what's needed, and I've heard this for so long. You just hang in there. And that's gonna be, you'll get there eventually. And he basically just busted that whole illusion up and was like, no, that's slow and steady does not win the race. This is not how you need to build this kind of business. And I'm glad that he said that, and he explained. I like answers to why. And he says the slow and steady doesn't win the race. It's going to starve you to death. Even a part-time pilot, you've got to take off and give it 100% at first and then go on cruise control. And I love the illustration because it makes sense. Oh, yeah, I get that. Okay, that makes sense. Then he explained, he says, recruiting one person per month, this doesn't work. There's no altitude. And what I like is how he explained how that person will feel like an orphan. I've experienced that. You sponsor one person and there's no momentum, there's nobody else there. Yeah, they're not feeling the energy. And when I think back of many other experiences in my life, we get excited from other people being excited. We just do, even if we don't fully understand why somebody else is excited. When they're excited and happy, we respond. I mean, if somebody smiles, we smile. If somebody sneezes, we sneeze. Somebody yarn, we yarn. So there's something to that, and it's a serious thing, especially in this business. And I tell you, he really, I tell you, I loved it. I loved it, and I'm taking it to heart. And I have to admit, between that and Super Saturday, something you said recently, live, being on calls live, which often, sometimes I can't get on something, webinar live, so I love the recording. But it does have an impact on you when you get things live. And I tell you, I loved it when he just broke it down. And he says, what would it be worth to you to recruit 20 new people in 30 days? And that's like, oh, my gosh. For me, it's like, wow, but, it helps when we hear somebody like at your level, 500K, saying we're all busy. Hello, we're all busy, but, we all got to get things done. And then he breaks down how, some people go into the witness protection plan and, where your leaders are going to be at. And he gives them numbers. And Eileen gave some really, great numbers that relate to, the Zango, which I love this company, my goodness. And so, that's fabulous. That's really great. And we need to know what to expect, because I've heard the lies before. And, I think some people in network marketing think that they're helping people by kind of cushioning the blow or lowering the expectations and the amount of work it's going to take to be successful in this kind of business. But I think they're doing people a great disservice when they do that, because now the person is going to be disillusioned when they do a minimum of what is necessary to do the business, and they're not getting the results. They're expecting maximum results with minimum amount of work. And that's unrealistic, and I don't think that's right. And, that's what I appreciate about you. You've always been very honest. And Eric Worre, he's just straight out. It's like, look, this is what it's going to take. I mean, if you want massive success, if you want big money, if you want to help a lot of people and you don't want to suffer through it, you're going to have to really put some time in and do the work. And do the work. It's work. And that's not a problem. That's not a problem to work. I mean, and earn what we can earn, especially in this business. I mean, there are other network marketing companies that don't offer near the amount of money that Zango offers. So, I got, the big A, I can tell you, did not offer people near as much money as the Zango compensation plan offers. So, I know those people had to work a whole lot harder to get anything. So, yeah, I was really impressed, and I appreciate it.
Well, Joe, thank you for your transparency and your appreciating reality, because I think the one thing that I despise about the profession that I love is the hype and the lies. And it makes people think that they're going to become millionaires by doing nothing except ordering some product. And nothing could be further from the truth. This is no different than any other business. And I can't remember if it was maybe on one of our calls with Brian Tracy, but Eric mentioned it as well. $1 million earners in any profession, whether they're CEOs or whatever business they're in, typically put in 10 to 16 hours a day.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Salary,
I was like,
it's like,
wow. Yeah.
Say, you just order some product, and next week you're going to start getting checks, and I'll never forget this one call I had on a three-way with a girl from the UK who was no job, broke, no friends, didn't want to talk to anybody she knew, and we finally got her to order some product, and a week after she ordered the product, she says, when do I start making money? And I said, Louisa, I don't understand the question. What do you mean, when do you start making money? She says, well, I ordered my product. When do I start making money? I said, did you watch any of the videos? You know, you have to build a team. You have to sponsor people. Oh, wait a minute. That's not what I was told. I was told in network marketing, regardless of the stuff I sent her, I was told by other people in other companies I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to sponsor people, and I could get to $10,000 a month in 3 months. I said, you know what, Louise? Maybe you need to join those companies, and then call me back when you realize they lied to you. I mean, really, swear to God, true story, and it's not the only one. So if you have big dreams, but you've got family, you've got obligations, we are all time starved. Where in the world are you going to find the time to do this? And you've got to make the time. You've got to look at your calendar and share it with your buddy. Share it so there's meal time with the family if you take out time. I happen to do webinars, dinner with whoever I'm having a webinar with, whoever, or I'm watching a replay. Because tell you a little insider secret: if you have a webinar to watch, they all record them. So I'm the never ever student who's always trying to learn more, so I can be better, not just for me, guys, but to help you as well. So you've got to decide and make the decision. So if you're not going to sponsor 20 and 30 days, how about 10? How about calling all the people about the specials that are starting on Friday with free products? And, of course, the new bottles are coming out, the beautiful white bottles. So you want to be one of the first to get those bottles. So I don't know what to tell you guys. Eric Worre does tell you like it is. And some of the myths, if you don't put in the effort, the result is going to be equal to your effort. Just like I tell you that your check is also equal to your professional skills. So the more people you talk to, the more engagements you have, the more information you're sending out, the easier it will be. And you know what's amazing? When we started 13 years ago, we didn't have any of this stuff. We had a 6-page fax. That was it. And if somebody, wanted a sample, we couldn't. And I don't know if you know this, but Zango will actually send Zalo Pro samples out for you in the 3D card, Ignite, Limitless, and a Reload with a beautiful letter from you. They'll mail it for only $5, and you don't have to run to the post office. I mean, it's a no-brainer. So slow and steady does not win the race. You have to turn up the steam. And yes, you shouldn't quit because life gets in the way. I mean, Eileen had to take this whole year off because Herb was so sick. And thank God for her recurring income. And now she's recouping, trying to get up every day without crying and knowing that life has to go on. But there are some things that I would just wanted to go over in my notes, because here's what I do. When I listen to any training, I used to ink it, write it. Then I couldn't read what I wrote, so I started typing in chicken shorthand on my computer. But if you want massive success, you've got to pick up the steam. Whatever you're doing or have been doing this year, if you're not where you want to be, why is that? Because it isn't enough. And if this economic crash is coming the way the experts are predicting, like Kiyosaki, like the economists from Harvard and Yale, they're saying the next crash in the next few years is going to be worse than the one in 2007. So you are forewarned. You are forewarned. You're going to look back in 3 years from now and say, I did what I needed to do to protect my family because I knew another crash was coming. Your life
depends upon it. So are you prepared? Are you going to work probably the hardest you've ever worked between now and the end of the year? Are you going to sacrifice whatever needs to be done? No distractions. It's your choice. You've got to write it down. You've got to put it in your calendar. Ask your buddy for accountability. You've got to increase your one-on-ones, whether it's on Skype, whether it's over a cup of coffee, whether it's three-way calls, whether it's webinars. It's your life. It's your legacy that you're making a decision on what you want your life to look like. So bottom line is, let me get to the next slide. It doesn't matter whether you're in carpet sales, whether you're in traditional sales, whether you're in hospital sales, whether you're in network marketing. The whole lead system is the same, guys. You have to generate a lot of conversations to find out who is a suspect versus a prospect. And it's all based on the questions that you ask to determine if, in fact, they are a candidate to potentially be a customer or a business builder with you. And then out of 100, maybe 10%, my ratio is 10%. Now, Dr. de Guzman's ratio was a whole lot higher. So let me share with you what I did the first 30 days. And Eric's right. Everybody that has had massive success has done massive work, literally 16 hours, 18 hours a day for the first 30 to 60 days. And I did that. Of course, I didn't have a job. I didn't have anybody to answer to. But as Eric has said, if you work a job, you come home by 6 o'clock. By 7 o'clock, you're on the phone. 7 till whatever, if you're on the East Coast, then you can work the West Coast till midnight. So no excuses. You can work from 7 to midnight. So you'll be going to bed later. You'll get up a little bit later. But that first year, maybe the first 90 days, I sponsored 48 people. 48 people, of which 4, just 4, went to work to create a team of hundreds of thousands. Think about that. Well, now that this year is ending, we're going to do it one more time. So I challenge you to do it as well, because if you're on this call the night before Thanksgiving, you want this badly. You want success badly. It isn't going to happen without the work in the word network marketing. So even if you did half of that, because remember, some people may start out as customers, and that's okay, because customers are still the backbone of our royalty income. And if you look at the 140 some odd members of the million or multi-million dollar club, 30% of them started out as customers, not as distributors. They didn't want to build a business, but they did because the products were so strong. Are you visualizing every day? I'm doing some training on how the brain works and brain psychology. And what is interesting, this has always been very difficult for me, is to find just 10 minutes a day, quiet time, no distractions, to just close my eyes, concentrate on your breathing, no distractions, just 10 minutes, quiet time, no distractions, concentrate on your breathing and visualize. Visualize what your world is going to look like. Can you see the house you're living in? Can you see the living room? Can you see how it's furnished? Do you notice the colors on the walls? Because you're not going to do plain white, or you're not going to do beige. You're going to do some exciting colors. When you look out the window, what do you see out of your window in your office? Do you see mountains? Do you see water? You're going to visualize the driveway.
what cars are in your driveway? What color are they? And I challenge you before the end of the year, go to a car dealership and test drive the car of your dreams. In fact, I think it was Bill Henke. He's on this call. At the XBA, he boldly shared his story that, and I'm sorry, Bill, but I can't remember what you do professionally, but I know you were coming near retirement and your superior said to you, when are you going to retire, Bill? And I think your words were, when you see me drive up in an Infiniti Q, whatever it is, you're 6 months away from your retirement. Well, you shared with me that you bought the car. You just bought the car. And you've already boldly told your boss within 6 months you'll be able to fire his ass, excuse the French. But you are going to be able to walk away from your job. You visualized, you test drove the car, you actually picked out the color. So this is what you need to do. Imagine where you are now compared to where you want to be. And remember this, you are where your thoughts are. Make sure your thoughts are where you want to be. And whatever you do, you don't quit. Because if you quit, then you're admitting to a life of mediocrity where you will not have control of your time or your finances. So I love this poem. In fact, it was either Joe or Gordon that read the poem at the XBA, the Zango Business Academy. January is almost filled, so you definitely want to call 877-GO-ZANGO and try to get into the January one if there are spots left. I know there are a couple 500Ks that are going back again. And, of course, then there'll be one probably in March, every 2 months. So I'm going to read this. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile, but you have to sigh or cry. When care is pressing you down a bit, rest a few months, but don't you quit. Life is queer with its twists and turns, and as every one of us sometimes learns. And many a failure turns about when he might have won had he stuck it out. Don't give up, though the pace seems slow. You may succeed with another blow. Success is failure turned inside out, the silver tint of the clouds of doubt. And you never can tell how close you are. It may be near when it seems so far. So stick to the fight when you're the hardest hit. And when things seem worse, that's when you must not quit. So appreciate you all. Just remember that what Eddie and I call POM, peace of mind, is yours for the taking. Nothing is more important than your health, but also nothing is better to experience than peace of mind. Knowing when you go to bed at night, you feel at peace, that you don't. And financial worries are a killer, guys. So definitely strive for peace of mind. And with that, guess what? We're going to end with my favorite song before we close out. So God bless everybody. Have a wonderful Thursday. And I don't know about you, but I'm back at work on Friday. Hope you are as well. Blessings.